Let's go over more examples for the sum of cubes and difference of cubes. Steps. First, you need to find out the cubic root of a cubed and b cubed. So, what is the cubic root of a cubed? A. What is the cubic root of b cubed? It's b. Now, the first parenthesis will contain the cubic root of a cubed, which is a, and the cubic root of b cubed, which is b. The sign that goes between them is the original sign. So if that was a plus, since we're doing sum of cubes, it will stay a plus. Once you reach that point, ignore the original problem. Okay? Focus on the parenthesis that you just came up with. Now, your second parenthesis has 3 terms. No matter what you're working on, whether it's sum of cubes or difference of cubes, this sign is always a positive, always a plus. This sign is always the opposite of the original sign. Again, our focus is only on this new parenthesis, nothing else. Don't look at the original problem. Don't confuse yourself. So if this is a plus, this is a minus. Now, again, look at the new parenthesis. Ignore the original problem. See how many times I've said it? Take the first term, square it. Take the second term, square it. So the first term squared, second term squared, and in the middle, they both get to be multiplied together. So A times B is AB. Now let's look at little bit more complicated questions. For example, let's factor 8x cubed plus 27. Okay, again, we said that the first step is to find the cubic root of both terms. Now, since the first term has both numbers and variables, so we need to find the cubic root of that number, the coefficient of x first. Then we need to find the cubic root of x cubed. So, what is the cubic root of 8? That means which number or which base to the power 3 equals 8. You can also use your calculators and look for that cubic root symbol, depends on what version of calculator you're using, and plug it in, cubic root of 8. The answer is 2, since 2 times 2 is a 4, and 4 times 2 is 8. Now, what is the cubic root of x cubed? The answer is x, because x times x is x squared, times x is an x cubed. What is the cubic root of 27? Again, that means which base to the power 3 is a 27? The answer is 3, because 3 times 3 is a 9, times 3 is 27. Now, let's write our first parenthesis. Remember, the sign, since this is a plus, this is also a plus because it's the same sign. Now, what was the cubic root of 8? It was a 2, so the 2 goes here. What was the cubic root of x cubed? It was an x, so the x goes here. So I wrote the cubic root of 8, which was the 2, times the cubic root of x cubed, which was x, or the cubic root of that term is simply 2x, plus, what was the cubic root of the 27? It was a 3. Now, since I'm done with the first parenthesis, please, for those of you who still get confused what to do, ignore the original problem. It does not even exist anymore. Now, to write my second parenthesis, I'm only looking at the new parenthesis that I just wrote, just this one. Now, the parenthesis says 2x. So basically, what needs to go here is the square of 2x. So it's 2x squared. 2x squared, that means it is 2x times 2x, which is equal to 4x squared. But let's take it one step at a time. So I'm squaring the first term, and I included parentheses just to be able to see that both of the 2 and the x are squared, and it's not just the x. Now, square the second term, which is your 3. Always put the plus. This sign is the opposite of that sign. So if this was a plus, then that's a minus. See? Plus, that will be a minus. If that was a minus, that would have been a plus. Is the opposite. Opposite signs. Now, what do we do in the middle? We multiply everything in that parenthesis. So it's 2 times x times 3. Now, let's simplify one more time. So, the first parenthesis looks good. Nothing needs to be simplified. So it's basically 2x plus 3. My second parenthesis, now, 2x all squared. Again, it is the same as saying what is 2x times itself. 2 times 2 is a 4. X times x is x squared. Minus 2 times x times 3 is simply, what is 2 times 3? 6x plus, what is 3 times 3, or 3 squared? It's a 9. And that's how you factor the sum of cubes. This is the answer. This is your answer in the box. This is my answer. Okay?